Let's get a quick take on history sadly repeating itself this week in Las Vegas Sunday evening. The nation's debate over gun control and mental health was reignited as the country mourns yet another mass shooting. Patty Calhoun from Westward, it's hard to see these events come down, not only as sad as they are, but also where the debate goes, because it's never productive. From what we've seen so far, has there been anything productive coming out of yet another tragedy in this country?
Well, we certainly hope that after Columbine and after the Aurora shootings, people in Colorado were more sensitized to people with problems. You don't want to wish the title on any other state of having the worst homegrown shooting, but I do think we have to pay attention to the fact that these are all internal. These are Americans who are taking off after their fellow Americans, and that means we have to be careful about everything.
Michael Fields from Americans for Prosperity. We've already seen Republicans get some pressure talking about the money being donated from the gun lobby. Is there going to be more heat from this, or sadly is this something that just dissipates with the normal news cycle?
I think that could be interesting in this one as opposed to other shootings is that there is a policy discussion that's happening, and that's around the bump stock debate. And really you had the NRA come out, you had congressional Republicans come out and say that they want to look at this and possibly regulate it. And so while there's the normal ban all guns on one side and do nothing on the other side, it is possible that something policy-wise comes out of this.
Political activist Justine Sandoval joins us. Justine, there's one of the big debates that came out almost immediately was what we call the shooter. Is he a terrorist? Is he just a shooter? Is a lone wolf? Whatever it is. Do labels matter at the end of the day?
Yeah, one thing, this is a good example of male toxic masculinity going on, and that's one thing a lot of these shooters all have in common. What is going on in our society? What is fundamentally wrong in America that is causing these types of shooting? Access to weapons, no access to mental health. What is going on? And I think it's really time that we address this and we look at the individuals who are doing this and try to find solutions. And I think it's really, the answer comes down to what's going on in our society as a whole and how we really look at and how we address how we're moving forward as a nation.
Rounding out the panel, Erica Meltzer, assistant editor with Denverite.com. Erica, as you've seen the variety of reactions to different debates this week, what stood out to you?
Well, I was, frankly, given the way some of these other events have played out, I was surprised that there was openness to discussing the bump stock issue and actually discussing some regulation out of this. And I think it's very difficult for us to reckon with this because the scale of it is so much larger than anything that we've seen before. And yet when we look at the availability of guns, there's really nothing that had prevented this from happening before, except that someone apparently didn't have the ambition to do something on this scale until now. So it's very sobering.